collaborate with people like Terada and Mike King, so her books all contain a certain level of comedy. DietVale is her first thriller. She writes in a number of different genres, and the words are: starving to death is the easy way out. Hi there, come in, there's plenty of chairs, you just have to find one. It's an eclectic venue, so nobody's judging you. So, Andrene, if you could please read us. Oh, I'm going to read you the blurb, yes. A divorcee desperate to get the body she wants, a sadistic health spa promising miracles, selling your soul never looked so fabulous. Marilyn is ready to drop the weight and stop looking like a before photo. So when her good-for-nothing husband kicks the bucket during divorce proceedings, she thinks the perfect place to blow his dough is at a secluded New Zealand health retreat. But more frightening than low-carb and bikinis is the sinister force on the other side of the razor-wire-topped fence, one with dark cravings of its own. With the daily enemas and kale salads not working, and the spa determined to maintain their success rate, she signed up to an exclusive add-on. It's one that'll transform her body in ways she's never imagined, even in her wildest nightmares. Will Marilyn succumb to the shadowy power that hungers for much more than her extra curves, or will it be the spa treatments that prove fatal?
Okay, and so I'm going to read out the prologue because that way I don't add any spoilers. So, somewhere in America, thank God his elderly mother was over at his aunt's place and wouldn't be back until morning. He thought she'd never go. Plenty of time for him to enjoy himself and clean up after. Anticipation makes his groin tighten, something he finds harder these days without help, both physical and chemical. Straggling out of the decrepit chair, sitting dead on to the large TV that overpowers the living room, he waits. Not until he's sure of his balance does he walk over to the door leading to his den in the basement. Locking the door behind himself, he makes doubly sure he won't be disturbed by sliding a large bolt across. Were anyone to interrupt him, not only would it ruin his enjoyment, it could land him in prison, perhaps permanently. His progress down the stairs is measured, with the handrail creaking in alarm as it takes his full weight. His concentration firmly on where he puts his feet, he only looks up after he's safely negotiated the bottom step. No point rushing, this is viewing by appointment. They'll wait for him. The Vale logo flashes on the large screen mounted on the far wall. Excellent. Candy had come through for him, even though his request is the most extreme to date. The Vale said it would cater to anyone's tastes, and they weren't kidding. Sure, it's expensive, but it's his money. He should be able to spend it how he likes. It wasn't as if he paid his mom any rent. He makes himself comfortable in the large recliner that stands sentinel in the middle of the room and retrieves the remote from down the side of the cushion. Hitting enter, he puts the device down on a small table next to his chair. A Beerens and nuts would usually keep him company, but he wasn't bothering with those tonight. Who knew how his stomach would hold up to this special request? The screen flares into life, showing him every detail as requested, and he gives into a high-pitched giggle. This right here is the Holy Grail.
Please come in, there are chairs, you just have to find one. Thank you, Andrene. So DietVale seems like a doctor's advisory against going to a health farm. Was that your intention when you wrote it? And what would your advice be to people attending real-world health farms?
I don't think it was actually a warning against health farms as such. More, be careful what you sign yourself up for. Read the fine print. I think particularly in the modern, we're so keen these days to have our 5 minutes of fame and be on reality TV that some people go in without checking things properly, forgetting that they are being manipulated, as much as the audience is. And so with DietVale, I took that to the next level by having the dark web involved, so that it wasn't just the producers who were manipulating the contestants, it was sickos in their mums' basements. And that was where that kind of came from.
Thank you. There's a couple more seats here if you want to come in. There's one there and a very comfy stool. Andrene, I almost run out of fingers when I start counting the genres you write in. How alike is DietVale to your other work, and did your previous writing help shape this dark thriller?
Well, I guess I am a magpie when it comes to genres, because I like reading a lot of different genres, so it makes sense that I like writing in a lot of different genres as well. I would say that the humorous women's fiction had the biggest bearing on DietVale, because even though they look like fun romps, they cover things like alcohol addiction, low self-esteem, grief, blackmail. There's a lot of things going on, so that they are very, very dark. And of course, you learn a lot of skills. It doesn't matter what genre you're writing in. The more you write, the more you learn as far as the craft goes. And I've been very lucky to work with an editor. I've been working with her now since 2014, and I have learned so much off her. And you know, sure, DietVale is very much darker than anything else I've ever written, but the humour is in there as well too, because I think that when you've got spade bits and chainsaws involved, then you do need a little bit of humour to lighten things up, because otherwise people, you know, have difficulty dealing with it. So yeah, I think, you know, I've got a sick sense of humour, and it shows.
Excellent, and I'm proud to call you my friend. Thank you.
I know how the power tools work, so we're all good.
Thank you very much, Andrew.
You're welcome.